Here with Tony Alagna. Tony, you have 8 starters in the Breeders' Crown Finals this weekend. We'll start with 2-year-old filly trotters, Ramona Hill, post 10. What were your thoughts on her performance last week?
We weren't happy with how she raced. She raced an amazing mile after she got set, but Andy tried to leave with her and she wasn't comfortable, and he lost a couple lengths getting off the gate. And then heading into the first turn, she started running in, which she doesn't normally do. So I flew up here last night. We trained her at Mohawk this morning, made a few adjustments. We were really happy with how she trained.
Awesome. So post 10, not ideal, but what are your thoughts?
Not ideal, but at least we're in it, and she's got her nose on the gate. If she's at her best, he can float out of there a little bit and try to find a position. We know she's a top filly. If she gets a chance to show it this weekend from the 10 hole, our fingers are crossed.
Awesome. So you mentioned you were here training her this morning, but is there anything else that goes into preparing a horse like her for the Breeders' Crown?
At this stage, they're pretty much set. You have to make a few adjustments like we had to on her, but they've raced the majority of the summer, so they're pretty much on a schedule where they're coming into their best, hopefully going into the race. And like I said, you may have to fine tune a little bit, but they're ready to go.
Okay, so we'll move on to 2-year-old filly pacers. You have 2 in this division. We'll start with Lady Lou, post 5. What were your thoughts on her?
I was very happy with her elimination. Her last start in Lexington, she was second in the International. We were very high on this filly when we started the season. She just had a lot of things not go her way, but she looks like she's starting to round back into form and show the type of filly we thought she was all along. We're losing Andy, of course, because our other filly made the final, but we pick up Yannick, and I think he'll be a good fit for this filly as well.
All right. Any changes this week?
No changes. She's good.
So would you have trained her this morning as well?
Yes, she trained this morning as well here at Mohawk.
So Reflect With Me, post 8. Also not ideal, but you're in it. So what were your thoughts on her?
Yeah, not an ideal post, but she's shown that she's done her best work closing. So I think there'll be plenty of pace in that race with Priceless and Lion Sentinel inside of us. They're going to make sure that it's an honest fraction. So hopefully that they give her enough pace that she can close into. But I was extremely happy with her race. She came from way off cover and closed up very well to be second. So she's looks like she's in good form coming into the final.
Tony, American history. He's been making headlines as of late. How has he been?
He didn't race. He went right to final. We trained him here on Saturday, and he trained really good. His last start at Lexington, he had a really troubled trip. He finished 4th, but it was all over the place. Actually, the second to last start. His last start at Yonkers, bad post draw, couldn't get involved, but raced really well in the invitational pace over there, going for 250,000 on International Trot Day. So he got a week off. He really needed that. He trained back really sharp here on Saturday. Good post draw. I hope it makes him a contender.
For sure. So in an aged horse like him now, what goes into preparing a horse like that?
He's pretty much set, same thing, but he did have a week off, and they have to be at the top of their game in the age pacing division. So I did bring him in here to Mohawk to train last Saturday, and I trained him myself. I went with him, and I was very happy with how he trained.
Awesome. So 3-year-old filly pacers, Treacherous Rain, post 3, and Tall Drink Hanover, post 4, right beside each other. What were your thoughts on them?
2 really solid fillies. They've been solid all year. Tall Drink raced in the elimination. We accepted a bye on Treacherous Rain. She trained with American History last Saturday out here. Tall Drink Hanover raced super. She was second to Warwe U Butte, who right now is the filly to beat. But they both got home in 26 seconds, and I was extremely happy with how Tall Drink raced. Her last start at Lexington, she was locked in. The start before that, she just didn't fire, but her blood work was really out of whack. So hopefully we've got everything straightened out for the final. Okay.
And freshman 2-year-old Colt pacers capped Midnight with a bye, post 5, and Put to Right, post 10. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was very happy Captain Midnight drew the 5-hole because he got the bye and he had the week off in the open draw. But we trained him as well this weekend with American History and Treacherous Rain. Those 3 all trained together here at Mohawk. 3 weeks off, I don't think will be a concern for the horse. He's raced a lot over this track, so this is pretty much his home base. He spent his entire summer up here. He was very good his last start at Lexington. He won very, very impressively down there in 49-4. So, I think that he's having, everything's going forward going into the final.
Great.
And Put to Right, just he had the same thing. He had a bad post in the elimination. He picked up the 8th spot, but the Colt's been second in 2 world records his last 2 starts at Lexington.
Yep.
He's still a maiden, but he's just made tremendous progress, and 10 posts isn't going to work in his favor, but he's a horse that people are going to hear from.
Right. So Tony, you're no stranger to the Breeders' Crown, you're no stranger to Grand Circuit racing, but what does winning a Breeders' Crown mean to you?
It's very special because, the thing about the Breeders' Crown, they all go back to the slogan, it all comes down to the Breeders' Crown, but, there's a lot into that. It's just not a slogan that people throw away or throw around, because you look at a horse like Priceless, who comes from Indiana, and you look at a horse like Looks Good in a Romper in the 2-year-old filly race that comes from Ohio. So what you have is you have all these different states with their product sitting their best together to see who really is the best, and that's why it really does all come down to the Breeders' Crown.
For sure. Well, Tony, we wish you the best of luck with all 8 starters.
Thank you. I appreciate it.